Imagine for a moment, my dear sisters, the gentle morning breeze caressing your skin, the birdsong resonating like a familiar melody, and that deep sensation of being connected to something greater, something more ancient. Today, on The Wise Woman, we're going to dive into this sacred link that unites women with nature, an ancestral bond that invites us to find our energy, our wisdom, and our inner balance again. For centuries, women have always been perceived as guardians of the earth, beings capable of understanding its cycles and dancing with its rhythms, whether through the seasons, the phases of the moon, or the force of the elements. But in our modern, fast and noisy lives, this precious link has sometimes weakened, giving way to an emptiness, a fatigue, or a disconnection that weighs on us without our knowing why. What I'm proposing to you today is that we rediscover this forgotten power together, that we remind ourselves that nature is our ally, and that, when we reconnect with it, we also reconnect with ourselves. Be sure to stay until the end, because we're going to explore some simple and powerful practices that will help you find this harmony again. And if this journey resonates with you, consider subscribing to The Wise Woman to continue nourishing your mind and your heart. From the dawn of time, my dear sisters, women and nature have shared a link so deep that it seems inscribed in our DNA. In ancestral civilizations, long before the noises of the modern world came to disturb our inner listening, women lived to the rhythm of the earth, the moon, the tides, and the seasons. They knew that each element carried a unique energy, a lesson to offer, a balance to preserve. In Native American tribes, for example, the woman was seen as a guardian of cycles, the one who, through her sensitivity and intuition, knew how to interpret the signs of nature to guide and protect her community. In African villages, women sang to the fields, invoking the fertility of the earth, because they understood that the life force that makes plants grow is the same one that makes a child grow in a mother's womb. The moon, with its changing phases, has always been a powerful symbol of this connection. Each cycle, from the new moon to the full moon, reflects our own transformations, our moments of introspection, our creative impulses, our phases of rest and renewal. Our ancestors knew this. They followed these cycles to plan plantings, harvests, rituals, and even their healing practices. Women gathered during full moon nights to share their experiences, their pains, their joys, creating healing circles where each one found her place, supported by the collective energy. This deeply feminine wisdom reminded them that everything in life is cyclical and that nothing is permanent, neither pain nor joy, nor even the challenges we are going through. The seasons themselves were perceived as spiritual guides. Spring symbolized birth and new beginnings, summer vitality and abundance, autumn introspection and letting go, and winter rest and a return to self. By observing nature, our ancestors understood that their own lives followed these same rhythms. Even today, when we learn to listen to these cycles, we can find that lost harmony again by allowing ourselves to rest when our body demands it, to create when our energy is high, and to detach when the time comes to let go. This wisdom was not just knowledge, it was a heritage, a treasure passed down from generation to generation. Mothers taught their daughters how to listen to the wind, understand the language of birds, feel the energy of plants, and recognize the moments when the earth called for rest or action. These teachings were often passed on in the silence of a walk in the forest, in sharing around a fire, or in the simple gestures of daily life like caring for medicinal plants or preparing sacred meals. Unfortunately, this link has weakened over time. The industrial revolutions, social changes, and the frantic pace of our lives have gradually erased this connection, distancing us from the earth and its messages. Yet, my sisters, this knowledge still sleeps within us, ready to be awakened. Sometimes all it takes is a moment of silence in nature, a look at the night sky, or a walk barefoot on the grass to feel that ancestral energy vibrate again. To understand this ancestral link is to remember that we are not separate from nature, but that we are a part of it. It is to honor our cycles, listen to our intuitions, and recognize that our strength, just like that of the earth, comes from our capacity to renew ourselves. And today, by rediscovering this wisdom, we offer ourselves the possibility of reconnecting with our deep essence to live more aligned, more authentic, and infinitely more peaceful lives. My dear sisters, to fully understand our link with nature, we must dive into the subtle dance of the elements, because each of them carries a vibration that resonates deeply with our feminine energy. Earth, water, fire, and air are not just forces external to us. They are energies that live in us, that pass through us and guide us every day. When we learn to listen to them, to honor them, and to balance them, we find that inner harmony that allows us to walk through life with more awareness, serenity, and power. Earth is our grounding, our stability, that solid foundation on which we lean to move forward. It teaches us patience, resilience, and steadfastness. When we are connected to the energy of Earth, we feel rooted, calm, and present. It's in this energy that we find the strength to stand tall, even when the storms of life shake us. To nourish this connection, sometimes simple gestures are enough. Walking barefoot on the ground, meditating under a tree, gardening, or even taking a moment to breathe deeply and feel the weight of our body supported by the ground. Earth reminds us that no matter what is happening around us, we always have within us this ability to return to our center, to recenter ourselves on what is essential. Water, on the other hand, is the energy of emotions and intuition. It flows within us like a river, sometimes peaceful, sometimes tumultuous, and it teaches us the importance of welcoming what we feel without judgment. Women have always had a special connection with water, a symbol of fluidity, receptivity, and healing. It is the energy that pushes us to listen to our heart, to let ourselves be guided by our intuition, even when our mind tells us to do the opposite. To reconnect with water is to learn to dance with our emotions rather than fighting them, to let go of what needs to leave, to purify ourselves of what weighs us down. A mindful hot bath, a meditation by a lake, or simply drinking a glass of water in gratitude for its purity can be powerful rituals to reactivate this energy within us. Fire, as for it, is the breath of our passion, of our transformation, of that spark that pushes us to act, to create, to reinvent ourselves. Fire is the energy of courage and inner strength. It reminds us that, even in the darkest moments, a flame continues to burn within us, ready to relight our path. To nourish the fire is to dare to say yes to what makes us vibrate, and no to what extinguishes our light. This can be dancing freely without worrying about what others think, writing what we have never dared to say, or taking concrete actions to turn our dreams into reality. Fire teaches us that we have within us an immense power of transformation, which we only need to ignite to change our lives. Finally, air is the element of freedom, expansion, and lightness. It is that breath that lifts us, that pushes us to broaden our horizons and to get out of the invisible cages that we sometimes impose on ourselves. Air is the wind that invites us to let go, to trust, to open ourselves to the unknown. It nourishes our mind, stimulates our creativity, and reminds us that we are not made to stay frozen. Connecting with air is breathing deeply, taking the time to let ourselves be inspired, walking in nature while letting the wind caress our skin, or even writing to free our mind from useless weights. Harmonizing these four energies in our daily life is a true key to balance. It begins with attentive listening, observing which element dominates in us at a given moment and which one needs to be nourished. If we feel lost or unstable, it's often earth that is calling us to ground ourselves. If we cut ourselves off from our emotions, it's water that is asking to flow again. If we feel extinguished or without drive, it's fire that is asking to be rekindled. And if we feel suffocated or trapped, it's air that is inviting us to open up, to breathe bigger. My sisters, we are each a unique alchemy of these elements, and the secret is to honor them, to offer them space to express themselves in our lives. When earth, water, fire, and air dance in harmony within us, we find that feeling of completeness, of tranquil power, and especially that inner peace that allows us to move forward in the world, grounded, free, and fully alive. My dear sisters, in the whirlwind of our modern lives, It is so easy to get lost, to cut ourselves off from our deep essence and from that sacred connection that binds us to nature. Yet each time we make the conscious choice to return to it, to walk barefoot on the earth, to breathe the fresh morning air, to listen to the murmur of the trees or the song of the waves, we offer ourselves an invaluable gift, that of liberation, recentering, and balance. Reconnecting with nature is not a simple poetic or spiritual act. It is a true therapy for the soul, a silent healing that acts on all levels of our being. When we return to nature, the first transformation we feel is a deep liberation from stress. The frantic rhythms, the constant obligations, the incessant noise of our daily lives create a tension that ends up distancing us from ourselves. But in the silence of a forest, at the edge of a lake, or even simply by observing the starry sky, something within us lets go. The body breathes better, the heart slows its beating, and the mind calms down. There are no more urgencies, no more notifications, no more pressures. Just the present moment, that suspended moment where we remember that we are part of something greater, vaster than our worries. And in this sacred space, stress dissolves, carrying away with it our deepest tensions. But that's not all. This reconnection also allows us to develop a finer intuition, a mental clarity that becomes a true compass in our lives. Nature has this incredible power to bring us back to the essential, to dissipate the fog created by our fears, our doubts, and our incessant thoughts. How many times have we found answers in silence, by walking under the trees or by letting our feet sink into the sand? It's as if, by finding calm again, our mind opens up and our inner voice becomes clearer. In the silence of natural spaces, we learn to listen, not with our ears but with our heart. And it is in this listening that intuition is born, that inner wisdom that guides us toward what is right for us, even when the path seems uncertain. Reconnecting with nature is also about finding an inner balance that nothing else can offer. The cycles of the earth, the seasons that follow one another, the tides that rise and fall, remind us that everything in life is movement, that everything has its time. Nature teaches us patience, letting go, and the ability to welcome each stage of our journey without resistance. When we immerse ourselves in these natural cycles, we understand that we are not late, that nothing is fixed, that everything evolves at the pace that must be ours. And in this understanding, a deep peace settles in. Imagine yourself walking in a field, the wind caressing your skin, the sun warming your face. In that instant, you no longer think about the expectations of others, the injunctions of society, or the wounds that weigh on you. You are there, fully present, grounded, alive. It is in these moments that we find our true essence, the one that doesn't need a mask, that doesn't need to justify itself. This simplicity, this purity of the moment, brings us back to ourselves, to that inner truth that we all carry within us. And the more we nourish this connection, the more we free ourselves from the invisible chains that hold us back. We become stronger, more aligned, more confident. Nature offers us this benevolent mirror where we can see ourselves as we truly are. Beautiful, powerful, whole. It teaches us that we already have everything within us to move forward, to create, to love. We just have to slow down, to listen, to let ourselves be carried by this ancient bond that unites us with it. My sisters, every moment spent in nature is a step toward healing and harmony. It is not necessary to travel far or to change your whole life. Sometimes, a few minutes spent observing the sky, smelling the scent of flowers, or listening to the rustling of leaves are enough to bring us back to our center. Make this reconnection a sacred ritual, an offering to yourselves. Offer yourselves this space, because in this silent link with nature lies the key to our freedom, our peace, and our rediscovered feminine power. My dear sisters, it's time now to transform all that we have explored into concrete actions, into simple practices that nourish this sacred bond with nature and that remind us day after day that we are deeply connected to it. None of this requires complicated rituals or inaccessible places. It all starts with presence, with the choice to open our hearts and offer ourselves moments to find ourselves again, in peace, in the gentle breath of life. One of the most powerful and accessible practices is meditative walking in nature. Walk without a specific purpose. Let your steps land gently on the earth, feel the ground under your feet, listen to the sounds around you, and breathe deeply. Each step becomes a silent prayer, each breath an exchange with the universe. In these moments, you remember that you are both a part of this world and a free soul that is grounded in its truth. It's in this silence, in this simple and natural rhythm, that the heart calms down and the mind becomes clear. Nature, in its infinite wisdom, also offers us the lunar cycles to guide us. The full moon, luminous and majestic, invites us to let go, to release what no longer serves us. Light a candle. Write down what you want to release, and watch the flame carry away the weights that burden you. The new moon, gentle and discreet, is a space for rebirth, a moment to plant intentions, to dream big, to remind yourself that each cycle is a new opportunity for growth and transformation. These rituals, as simple as they may be, reconnect us to our own inner cycles, to that feminine rhythm that dances to the same tempo as the universe. Guided meditations connected to the elements are another powerful path. Close your eyes. Imagine your feet grounding into the earth. Feel its strength and stability. Let water flow within you, soothe your emotions, and awaken your intuition. Light the flame of your inner fire to nourish your passion and your creativity. Breathe in the air deeply. Feel that expansion, that lightness that carries you. These meditations are not just relaxation exercises, they are reminders, silent dialogues with the forces that live within us and around us. And then, there is writing, that bridge between the heart and the mind. Take a notebook, sit under a tree, in front of the ocean, or in a garden, and let the words flow. Don't try to write well, just try to write truthfully. Let your thoughts, your emotions, your hopes settle on the paper. This practice frees, soothes, and helps us see more clearly. It is an intimate conversation with yourself, carried by the pure energy of the nature that surrounds you. Across the world, women are reconnecting every day with this ancient wisdom. Some dance barefoot on the beaten earth at sunrise, others honor rivers by placing flowers, and still others gather to sing to the moon or to pray together in silence. These are not practices lost in time. They are living gestures that remind us that we are part of the same story, that our roots are deep, and that we have always known how to dialogue with the natural world. This link with nature is not a luxury, my sisters. It's a necessity. In this return to simplicity, we find our power, our peace, and our truth. We understand that we are not alone, that every tree, every river, every breath of wind is an ally on our path. So listen to this message. By connecting with nature, we find our essence and our power again. This isn't a simple return to the outside. It's a return to ourselves. It's an invitation to walk more slowly, to observe more deeply, to love more freely. If this message has touched something in you, if you feel this gentle but powerful call to find this sacred connection again, I invite you to share it. Share this video with your sisters, your friends, your daughters, so that this circle of connected women grows even more. And remember, my beautiful souls, that every moment spent in nature is a gift. Offer yourselves this time. Because in this sacred silence, in this invisible dialogue with the earth, you will discover how much you have always been guided, loved, and infinitely powerful.